where do we start with this question about factoring in longevity, how long people are going to live, into our income and retirement planning?
Well, that's a great question, because one of the primary concerns people have is, I don't want to outlive my money.
Right.
So how do we determine what that point should be? And if I ask people, how long are you going to live? Surprisingly, they look at me funny and don't have an answer. But there are things we can use to try to get a good guesstimate.
Okay.
One is the national average, which is around 80. Longer for women, a little shorter for men, and longer for married couples. The other part is, how long did your parents or grandparents live? And what kind of lifestyle choices do you have? Are you healthy? Do you work out? Or not so much?
Yeah.
So by using those, we'll come up with a good indication. Typically, we use somewhere around 90 to 100.
That's good. I've shared with people, we're going to do a plan that takes you out to 100, and they look at me very oddly. I'm like, look, we're going to do 100 unless you tell us otherwise, because it's, you know, it's a trade-off, right, on how long they're going to live and how much income, and nobody wants to outlive their money. There's no question. How about Social Security? How does that factor into this equation?
Yeah, the $64,000 question. And by the way, what your choices are might mean a difference of $64,000.
Exactly.
So I find that there's an art and a science to this.
Okay.
First, the science, and that is that we can look at the numbers, okay? How much are your benefits going to be based on your earnings history? And then, if you take it at 62, you're going to get a reduction in that benefit versus waiting till age 70, which you're going to get a substantially higher amount. So if you think about the difference in those two numbers,
right,
how long do you have to live before there's a crossover and it made sense to wait? That's the science. That's a little easier.
Okay.
The art is, well, what about your own cash flow currently? Okay, if you're struggling to make ends meet, it doesn't matter if you have to wait till 70 to get a higher amount. I mean, you know,
you need the money. You need
the money now, right? Another is your health. Let's say you might have some longevity, but you know, you have a chronic illness or you're painful, you might want that money earlier to enjoy it while you still can. Another one is, what about Social Security and solvency of that program?
Well, speak to that.
Well, right now, the projections are that the trust fund's going to run out in about 2034. Now, for the audience, don't worry. There's still going to be Social Security, but it's going to be based on the earnings that they receive from people still working, which is about 75% of the current benefits. Not sure where that's going to go, but I'm sure something will be figured out.
If you would like more information about the topics and our guests featured in this series, please visit our website at PlanStrongerTV.com. Also, if you have a question you would like David to answer, please send it to questions@PlanStrongerTV.com.